Good morning, my dear students. I welcome all of you to the science class. So, we are doing the chapter Cell, Structure and Function. Let us first recap what we have done in the previous class. So, in the previous class, we were discussing about the nucleus and we have discussed the structure of the nucleus and the function of the nucleus. So, let us recap what we have done. Nucleus is a component of a cell and it is one of the most important component or part of a cell, and it is spherical in shape. Usually it is located at the center of the cell, but in plant cell it is located in the periphery. The nucleus is surrounded by a membrane called nuclear membrane, which possesses the nuclear pore. So the exchange of materials between the cytoplasm of the cell and the nucleus is taking place through the pores. Apart from it, it also has thread-like structures called chromosomes inside the nucleus, and the main function of the nucleus is to control the activities of the cell. So, since it has chromosome, it is also responsible for the transfer of hereditary character from parent to the offspring. So, this is what we learned in the previous class. So, today, after today's class, you will be able to differentiate between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. You will also be able to understand about the different cell organelles, that is the structures which are present in the cytoplasm. So we will be discussing about endoplasmic reticulum, lysosome, mitochondria, Golgi bodies or Golgi apparatus, vacuoles and plastids. So let us first look at what are prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. So in the slide you can see a picture of a bacteria, and if you look at the center of the cell, you will find some structures, thread-like structures. So these thread-like structures are the nuclear material, and if you observe it properly, you will find that the genetic material is not enclosed within a membrane. We have learned that the chromosome is present inside a nuclear membrane and the nucleus is surrounded by the nuclear membrane. But here you will see that the genetic material is not enclosed within any nuclear membrane. That means it does not possess any nuclear membrane. So such type of cells which do not have any nuclear membrane, the nucleus is not defined properly, are called prokaryotic cells. Pro stands for primitive and karyon stands for nucleus. Organisms with prokaryotic cells are known as prokaryotes. Some examples of prokaryotic cells are bacterial cell, blue-green algae. They do not have a definite, well-defined nucleus. The genetic material of these cells are not enclosed within a nuclear membrane, and that is the reason why these cells are called prokaryotic cell. Now let's move on to the eukaryotic cell. So eukaryotic cell is usually present in plants and animal body. So here you can see that this is the nucleus, and the nucleus is surrounded by a membrane called the nuclear membrane, and since it is surrounded by a nuclear membrane, it is called eukaryotic cell. U stands for true and karyon stands for nucleus. That means it has a true nucleus and it also has a well-defined nucleus. The content of the nucleus is enclosed within a membrane called the nuclear membrane. The organisms with eukaryotic cells are known as eukaryotes. So these are the two types of cells which is found in the living body, the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. Now let's move on to the next topic of today's class, that is the cell organelles. What are cell organelles? Cell organelles are small structures present in the cytoplasm inside a cell, and all the cells contains the cell organelles except the prokaryotic cells. In prokaryotic cells, most of the cell organelles are not present. So all these cell organelles which you can see on the screen are present in plants and animals. Some of them are common in both plants and animals, and some are only present in the plant body. So let us learn more about it. So we'll be learning and discussing about the cell organelle: endoplasmic reticulum, ribosomes, Golgi bodies, mitochondria, lysosome, vacuole and plastids. And plastids are only present in plants. So let us discuss in detail about the different cell organelles. So the first cell organelle which we are going to discuss is endoplasmic reticulum. So this endoplasmic reticulum is present both in plants and animals, and we can say that the endoplasmic reticulum is one of the most important organelle which is present in the cell, and the short form of endoplasmic reticulum is ER. So endoplasmic reticulum, as you can see in the picture, is a network of channels. So here you can see the endoplasmic reticulum. It is a network of channel, and they are made up of membranes that encloses a fluid filled lumen. And the endoplasmic reticulum is of two types, that is RER, full form is rough endoplasmic reticulum, and SER, full form is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Now why are they called rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum? Rough because ribosomes are attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. That means when ribosomes are attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, it is called rough endoplasmic reticulum, and when ribosomes are not attached, it is called smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Now what is the function of these two endoplasmic reticulum? So the function of rough endoplasmic reticulum is to synthesize protein as ribosomes are attached to it, and the function of smooth endoplasmic reticulum is to synthesize lipids. So protein and lipids are synthesized inside the cell by the rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum respectively. Now the next type of cell organelle is ribosomes. So ribosomes are the site where protein synthesis takes place. That means production of protein takes place. We have already discussed that the endoplasmic reticulum in which the ribosomes are attached, they synthesize protein. That means the main site of protein synthesis is what? It is the ribosomes. And ribosomes are spherical body made up of RNA. The full form of RNA is ribonucleic acid and the protein enzyme. So the ribosomes can be found attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, or it can be found separately in the cytoplasm. Yes, so the next cell organelle which we'll be discussing is Golgi bodies or Golgi apparatus. We can pronounce it as Golgi body also. So Golgi bodies or apparatus are made up of structures called cisterns. So you can see these are the structures which are called cisternae, and they stack together in parallel rows to form the Golgi body. Yes, so the whole thing is the Golgi body, and you can see that the cisternae stacked together in parallel rows to form the Golgi bodies. So the Golgi bodies or apparatus are responsible for the secretion of hormones, enzymes and protein. Next we move on to the next cell organelle, that is mitochondria. Mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. Now, why is it called the powerhouse of the cell? Because the food which we eat is digested inside our body, and it is broken down into the simplest form, that is glucose. The glucose is absorbed by the cell, and with the help of oxygen, the glucose is converted into energy, and this process takes place inside the mitochondria. So mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. And if we look at the structure of the mitochondria, mitochondria is rod shaped organelle, and it has a double membrane. You can see this is the outer membrane, and the other membrane is the inner membrane, which is folded. Yes, so mitochondria act as the energy production site, and hence they are called the powerhouse of the cell. Now here you can see the equation that when glucose reacts with oxygen, it produces carbon dioxide, which is eliminated from our body. It also produces water vapor and energy. So since it is producing energy, mitochondria is called the powerhouse of cell. Lysosome. Lysosomes are another cell organelles which are sac-like structures, and it is surrounded by a single layer of membrane. So only one layer of membrane is present around the lysosome, and lysosomes are able to digest damaged cells and variety of extra and intracellular material, and that is the reason why it is the site for cleaning the waste materials inside the cell. So the lysosome is associated with the cleaning or digestion of the waste which is produced inside the cell. So the main function is to clean the substances or the waste products which is present inside the cell. Then the vacuoles. Vacuoles are another cell organelles which are enclosed by a membrane and is filled with fluid. Vacuoles are present both in plants and animals, and when vacuoles are present in plant, it will occupy the central position, but in animals the vacuoles will occupy the corner position. Yes, so that's why I said that the nucleus, the location of the nucleus may be in the center or in the corner, because in plants, since the vacuoles occupy the central position, the nucleus will occupy the corner position. So here you can see the nucleus in a plant cell, but in animal cell the nucleus occupy the central position and the vacuole occupies the corner position. It is in the periphery of the cell. So vacuoles in plants cell keep the cells firm and turgid. It makes the body of the plant and the cell turgid and firm. So they store various substances including waste products of the cell in the plants. Vacuoles in animals, on the other hand, will store food, water, sugar, mineral and waste product of the cell. So this is the function of vacuole. The last type of cell organelle which we are going to discuss is the plastids. So plastids are double layered membrane, and as you can see in the picture that it is a double layered membrane, and they are of two types depending on the color of the pigment they contain. If they do not contain any colored pigment, they are colorless, they are called leucoplast or leucoplastid, and the main function of leucoplastid is to store starch and other plant nutrient. The other type of plastid which contains various colored pigment is called chromoplastid. So this contains different colored pigment. Most important type of chromoplastid is the chloroplast. Why? Because it contains the chlorophyll, and we know that chlorophyll is very important for the process of photosynthesis. Apart from the green pigment chlorophyll, the chromoplast also contains other pigment like xanthophyll and carotenoid. Yes, so since they contain the colored pigment, it is called chromoplastid or chromoplast. So these are the cell organelles which are present in an eukaryotic cell, but most of the cell organelles are absent in the prokaryotic cell. So now let us summarize what we have learned. We have learned that the endoplasmic reticulum is a membranous organelle, and there are two types of endoplasmic reticulum, rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And rough endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for the synthesis of protein since ribosomes are attached to it, and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for synthesis of lipid. Lysosomes are small membrane-bound sac-like structure which release the digestive enzyme that breaks down food, and also it cleans the cell. It removes the waste from the cell. Mitochondria is a double membrane bounded cell organelle which is responsible for the production of energy inside the cell, and so it is called the powerhouse of the cell. Plastids carry pigment, or it contains pigment of various color, or it may be colorless also. So depending on whether it is colorless or colored, it can be divided into two types, that is the leucoplastid and the chromoplastid. And the most important chromoplastid is the chloroplast, which contains chlorophyll. Vacuole are fluid filled structures which is responsible for the rigidity of the cells in the plant. It is also present in the animal cell, and usually it stores various substances in it. So with this we come to the end of today's class. I hope that all of you have understood clearly about the different cell organelles and about the prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell. Thank you and have a great day.